Alright, this is going to be another vinyl video of sorts. Yeah. First 6 I'm going to go through is going to be Record Store Day editions. Yeah, so I'm going to get started on that. Pretty much the only exclusive I got from a Record Store Day. The exclusive pressing with the Doors is Strange Days. Not much to say except that it sounds good. Really, really good. These are the lyrics. I was skeptical about getting this at first, but when I thought on it more, I figured, okay, yeah, it's the Doors. Can't go wrong with the Doors. No siree. I hate this. Why did I take this out? I don't know. Take these out. Nice look back. I would maybe like. Okay, yeah, thank you. But yeah, the Doors are pretty great. If you're meaning to get into them, I'd recommend their debut wholeheartedly. Their debut is my favorite, actually. But this is great too. LA Woman's really good. Closer to the Sun, I believe it's called. I wish they'd shut up. I don't know if you can hear them. But get into the Doors. Yeah, it's a good pressing. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Next up we have Led Zeppelin 4, my favorite Led Zeppelin album. Finally got it on vinyl. I'm pretty pleased with that. Not much to say about the pressing itself. I think it's the remastered edition. Yeah, I think it's a remastered edition. I don't think they'd have originals on Record Store Day for as cheap as I bought it in comparison to what it could have been. It's my favorite because within 8 tracks there's so much variety, so much, gotta back up a little. So much variety, so much well done songwriting and performance. Especially on tracks like Stairway to Heaven, Black Dog, Going to California, songs like that. But if you are meaning to get into Led Zeppelin but feel intimidated, I'd start with 4. I started with 4, and now here I am. From there, I guess go for the rest of the series, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then just go chronologically from there. That's my opinion anyway. Next we have Jimi Hendrix's Axis Bold as Love. My second favorite Jimi Hendrix album. This gatefold opens up weirdly. It doesn't open like sideways. It opens like, yeah, like so. And yet, I guess to go for like the kind of a psychedelic feel to it. Weirdly enough, not much in here. Pressing is pretty thick. If you're familiar with my other video, I do prefer Electric Ladyland to this, but this is definitely, in a way, not that far behind in favorites of mine. It's got Little Wing on it. If 6 was 9. This is pretty much, I guess, a gateway Jimi Hendrix album. Like, if you wanted to get into Jimi Hendrix, you'd listen to this. Or Are You Experienced? But I prefer this more. Much more, I don't know the word for it. Not accessible. I guess it is accessible since it's like 40 minutes in length. But something else I got that's not very accessible. Sonic Youth's Daydream Nation. Added by default, my favorite Sonic Youth album. I listened. Oh shoot! No! Get back in there! Get back in there! Stay. But yeah, my favorite Sonic Youth album, but only because I listened to this Bad Moon Rising and Confusion is 6. I need to listen. I got like a bunch of their stuff on my iPod I haven't listened to yet. I guess I could start with this. Unless there's like a more accessible Sonic Youth album that would be better recommended. I don't know. But I just know that this is my favorite. And it's a pretty excellent album. Really excellent. Sonic Youth in general, if you're trying to get into noise rock, noise music in general, indie rock of sorts. The Beatles Revolver, my second favorite Beatles album. I want to get the White Album at some point, but I haven't got down to it for some reason. I got a friend of mine the White Album, but I don't know if she got it yet, since she lives in India. But if you're trying to get into the Beatles, this, I would definitely say. This or Rubber Soul. Or, I guess their earlier pop rock stuff. This is their, when they got more psychedelic, versus Rubber Soul, which they incorporate a lot of folk rock into it. There's not really a bad song on this album, I don't believe. No, not a single bad one. So yeah, sounds great on the turntable, definitely. Tool's Lateralis. My favorite, not my favorite Tool album, but like my second favorite. There's no official pressings of 10,000 Days, but there might come a time when they might do that, so I wait for that day. But this is actually really great. It's not far behind from Tools. It's not far behind in 10,000 Days as far as my favorite Tool album goes. Also, I need to show you something with the record itself. I don't know if you can now. Yeah. Each side has like something weird like that on it. Some kind of anatomy type thing. Okay, that's side A and B. That's cool. If you're trying to get into Tool, there's not really an easy way to get into Tool. You could get into Tool chronologically or backwards-ish. I got into Tool by just buying 10,000 Days. That's just how I did it. I don't know if it'll work the same way for you. Undertow, I think, is their shortest. Most underrated, maybe. Yeah, that's my record store editions. Now I gotta get to the gauntlet of... Actually, it's just 6 records. Yeah, it's just 6 records. Of other stuff I got. For instance, my favorite U2 album. Not much to say with the packaging. Where are the lyrics on this again? Yeah, somewhere in the insert. U2. One of my favorite rock bands ever. As far as getting into U2, or Joshua Tree. I need to get Joshua Tree on vinyl. It's one of my favorites ever as well. This one, I appreciate the sudden experimental shift on this album, both lyrically and instrumentally. It goes really well for me. So well that it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Top 10, easy. U2, I know they're kind of not really a band people want to associate with for some reason, but they're a good band. They really are. They may seem overrated, but within that there's an underrated core to it. Something not U2, A Tribe Called Quest's Low End Theory. This is, if you're not familiar with it, it's abstract, jazzy hip-hop from Q-Tip and Phife Dawg, with features from like the likes of, who's all on this album? Busta Rhymes, I know, is on it. They got a jazz bassist named Ron Carter on a track that goes really well. But if you are trying to get into abstract hip hop, this is a neat way to start. Really neat way to start. I'd say something along the lines of Mad Villain's Mad Villainy as well. It's also not a bad starter for trying to get into hip hop in general. That's just how I say it. Not sure if I'll check out more of a Tribe Called Quest in the future, but I don't know, maybe. But I do know I'll be trying to check out these guys in the future. The Strokes, their debut album is a hit. Beautiful, beautiful post-punk garage rock revival album. Really good. Julian Casablancas is definitely a card when it comes to vocal eccentricities and songwriting ideas. Not only that, but it features one of the most talented guitarists of all time, Albert Hammond Jr. He's definitely a favorite of mine. Start here if you're trying to get into the Strokes. Just do it. From there, just go chronologically pretty much. Whether you end up liking their stuff after that, and I know people are not really seeing the Strokes in a positive light because of the sonic direction they've kind of descended towards, but still, give it a try. Actually, I think I'll show you this before I show you Traummaster Replica. Aphex Twin's Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. This is not easy. This is not easy music to get into. Ambient music. IDM and stuff of that nature in general. This album in particular is 2.5 hours long. 3 records, about 20. This version has 25 tracks. The version I have on my iPod is 23. It's beautiful, but it's not easy to get into. It's not easy to decide, you know what, I enjoy this a lot and I want to continue to it. No. You need to be accustomed to ambient music, techno music, acid house music, IDM music in general before getting into this. As far as Aphex Twin in general goes, start with the Richard D. James album or his album Selected Ambient Works, Selected Ambient Works 85 through 92. Or there's a new album, Cyro. But if you do start with this, best of luck to you because it's something else. And I enjoy that something else a lot. Alright. Traummaster Replica, oh my god! Yeah, I got a Traummaster Replica on vinyl. Yeah. As far as the packaging goes, there's not much to point out. Unfortunately, there's no lyric sheet like my CD has. However, it's a colored vinyl. The freaking record is it's red. Both of them are red. It's definitely something I like about the album a lot. Aside from the music. But I realized that Captain Beefheart did not achieve the music that he ended up making on this album ethically. And I do agree that Captain Beefheart is in fact an asshole. But even as an asshole, I think this is wondrous music. Difficult music though, really difficult. If you have a traditional mindset with music, you will hate the bloody hell out of this. But if you don't, you may still hate it, but it's still beautiful to me in terms of indulgence and songwriting ideas, and I would even say lyricism, despite how absurd the whole thing is. But do get into that if you want to. Save His Milk is cool too. I'm not as big as fan as of Safe as Milk as everything else Captain Beefheart's ever done. Provided that those are the only two Captain Beefheart albums I ever listened to. Need to work on that. But finally, the single most expensive piece of vinyl I have ever purchased. Mars Volta's Francis the Mute. Essentially, post-hardcore turned experimental rock, math rock, progressive rock. Just wild, wild, wild stuff. Wild stuff. Not easy stuff to listen to if you're not already familiar with that particular camp of that particular where's he gonna side? Where's he gonna side? Oh, okay, that blended in well. I didn't expect that. This record takes up 5 sides instead of all 6. It's 3 records, but it takes up 5 sides. I would have preferred they put the track, what is that called? The title track on the title track of the album on here, but they excluded it on the album for some reason. So you end up getting however, you can see it. Oh yeah, you see that? Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. When I saw that, I was like, holy hell. Even if I end up hating this album, which is really, really unlikely, I'm gonna keep this because of how obscene the packaging is. I need to get like a 7-inch of the title track. I'm sure they exist somewhere. This is obscene. This. I do have the Aphex Twin is a 3 record. So is the Seer I have on vinyl. It's 3 record, but this is the most interesting 3 record album I ever bought. What's interesting is that sides A, B, C, and D, they repeat at the end instead of stop. So I'm left to like having to pay attention to like the last few moments of the album. But if you're trying to get into Mars Volta, first of all, I wish you luck on finding Mars Volta vinyl. They're not common. Ambidextrous is becoming common, so is The Lost in the Comatorium, but this is rare. This is rare. I'm sure Bedlam of the Goliath is rare. Rare. But it's not rare CD-wise or digitally-wise, so, you know. But, there's no easy way to get into Mars Volta if you're not already into prog rock or anything like that. I started with this. But I would start with like something like, just go chronologically. That's all I can say. Omar Rodriguez Lopez is by far one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And one of the greatest musicians ever. That's all I can say about Mars Volta. That I'm allowed to say within a limited space of time. Alright, that's my collection as of right now. I'll do another one eventually. I think I'll do a CD update soon. Not sure when, but soon. Okie dokie.